Welcome to the podcast from the St. Louis Sportists, an occasionally smart, always irreverent look at sports in St. Louis and beyond. And now, your St. Louis Sportists.
Hello and welcome to the podcast from the St. Louis Sportists. My name is Ron Cook, and I am joined by Joe Sperlin.
Hey, glad to be here. Just got back from the grocery store, loaded up, bought 7 loaves of bread, just like everyone else.
That's outstanding.
Watch those carbs, Joe.
That's true. Back from getting all of the milk is Tom Mathis.
That's right. Got to load up on it. Got to be ready. Hey, just remember, spring training's right around the corner.
Oh, it's so close. Keith Farrell.
Cheers, all.
And don't forget to stock up on other items for the weekend.
Hey.
Doug Lansdowne is on assignment. We don't know if he's working with MoDOT or what he's doing. But Joe, you and Doug are down there where it sounds like you're just going to get buckets of snow this weekend.
Unknown at this time.
Unknown.
It'll be raining snowmen.
There you go. In this episode, Indiana gives us a season for the ages. In the NFL, what is a catch? What is pass interference? Well, the Broncos and Rams are pleased with the current definition. And with the college football season officially over, it's time to look back at our predictions from last August. The St. Louis Sportists are brought to you by First Coast Steel Buildings. Jason and his team will take your project from design to completion with a family-first approach. Learn more at 1stcoaststeel.com, and we will hear more from them and Sandra Templeoff later in the show. And tonight's last call is brought to you by Black Dog Consulting, LLC, here to help the one-truck owner and the small fleet owner to grow and prosper. Contact Dave at 417-217-9622. Black Dog Consulting, helping you retrieve bigger profits. The podcast is available on pretty much every podcast platform. You will find places to rate, follow our podcast. We're on X, Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram. I almost did TikTok this week. I'm doing one. You know what? I'm going to have a chance this weekend. If you would like to prepare yourself for that by watching this podcast on YouTube, you can go to @STL Sportists. That's SPORTISTS. And our website, which we are now refreshing again, is stlsportists.com. Before we get started this week, we want to thank each and every one of you. We have passed 2,500 followers, 2,500 followers. Thank you for listening, for watching, for being part of this, because we really, really appreciate you. So let's lead it off with quick hits, Joe Sperlin. What do you have?
As you said, Ron, I hate to bring this up, but with the end of college football season and the end of the portal, which was Friday, there was approximately 6,700 Division I portals. There are still 1,200 of them not signed. So the ones that had a scholarship, now 1,200 of them do not have a place to go. Now, that could be, in the old school, I still call it the 1AA, Division II, or they just sit out and wait for the spring semester of injuries or things and wait for spring practice and see what happens. So, as we've said all this time, it needs to be fixed. And Josh Pate stole part of my idea, but if you ever get a chance, listen to his ideas. He talks about championship week and moving everything up a week and being done January 1, just like I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But on championship weekend, there would be 6 games that he talked that was giving them a chance to justify being in the playoffs. And I said, darn that, Josh Pate stole that idea from me. Or maybe I stole it from him. I think I had it first, and then he copied it.
I wonder if he's one of the 2,500. I'll have to check.
He could be listening. He could be.
Yeah. That's a unique brand of limbo. I get. Do you have to be in school if you're not playing and you're in that situation?
I don't think there are rules like that anymore.
I don't think so. You could just be like Ivan Drago training, like 18 hours a day or
Or
whatever.
you could
I
be
guess.
Carson Beck when they asked him about how his classes was, and he said, "I graduated 2 years ago."
2 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boy, he's going to be like, he's going to have a few doctorates as well,
Yeah.
Tom, what do you have?
So, as I said earlier, spring training is approaching, and the Major League Baseball top 100 prospect lists have started to drop. Baseball America dropped theirs today, and the Cardinals have 4 players on it. J.J. Weatherholt is number 3. Liam Doyle is number 33. The catcher Roniel Rodriguez is 35, and also we have outfielder Joshua Baez is number 54. So we got some talent coming in the pipeline, and that doesn't even account for players like Quinn Matthews and some of the other guys we've been paying attention to for the last few years. So we got some talent coming. I don't think that's happened probably like that since probably the middle 2010s. That we've had that high of a rank. So hopefully they keep it going, and I'm excited for what's coming the next couple of years.
I am too. It seems like Chaim Bloom has much more of a plan / direction, I think, than what we've seen in recent years.
I just wonder if he's going to exercise patience or if he's going to wait till after the lockout. Or I'm just kind of curious what his motive is. Of course, he can't say it.
Right.
He had every opportunity this past weekend in front of the fans to kind of let a few nuggets out, but he's doing what every GM does, walks the political landscape.
I did see that Tim Kirchin had a tweet today where he said that he is of the belief now that there will be a labor stoppage in 27. So I don't know if someone slid him a piece of paper across the table or he had a blinding flash of the obvious, but
he saw the Kyle Tucker signing, so
there you go.
That's going to push everybody over the edge.
Yeah, I bet you these guys are front loading those contracts and getting major signing bonuses.
I want my money.
They want my money now.
Wonder about if the union is like sending out kind of spending guidelines to its avoid new home purchases.
Yes.
Keith, what do you have?
Start
what the
saving
hell,
money
man?
now.
What the hell
What
is
the
exactly
hell?
what John Gruden said regarding Sean McDermott's firing. You got a team. The Bills are only the 4th team in the Super Bowl era to string together 6 consecutive seasons with a playoff win.
Not good enough.
And that's not good enough.
Mm-mm.
I watched the whole game, and Sean McDermott did not throw interceptions like they were going out of style. Listen, how are you going to hold McDermott accountable to bad quarterbacking play? What the hell, man? I agree with Gruden. Bad mistake for the Bills organization to let a good coach go.
Going into their new stadium and everything. I mean, I
think that was an emotional fire.
And that's interesting. You go back, and Tom, I'm gonna break a rule here, and we're gonna talk NFL. But you remember when Dick Vermeil resigned after winning the Super Bowl, and he later said it was one of the biggest mistakes of his life. He said that he thought, okay, I want to go out on top, and he said, like, very shortly after he did it, he knew that he should not have done that.
If he would have stayed, they probably would have won at least one more, maybe 2 more. And then he could have went out and let March be the head coach. But yeah, the emotional decisions at the bad times.
Yep. Well, for mine, we have late breaking news as of this afternoon. We're recording on Wednesday evening. And Jao Klauss, who has, I think you can safely say he's been the face of the St. Louis City franchise since they were founded. When they started back in 23, he got off to a goal-scoring pace where there was concern he was going to immediately be snatched up by a European team. Word is breaking today that there is an agreement very close between the LA Galaxy and St. Louis City to send Jao Klauss out there for $2 million. So if you follow MLS at all, Ricky Pooch, who I like to nickname Haircut, I have called him that for
Excuse
quite
me,
some
Ron.
time.
What was his name again?
Ricky Pooch. And it's folks, it's spelled, if you look at it, you'd think it would be Ricky Puig. But he's like 5'10", maybe 150, maybe, and one of the most talented soccer players in the world.
If he was from the Dominican Republic, it would be Puig, wouldn't it?
It would be, yes.
Okay, sorry. I'll just be quiet when it comes to soccer.
Oh, no. Actually, you had quite a bit. But no, this guy he's scored at least 2 goals against City that I can remember. And the last time Galaxy came to St. Louis, I was looking forward to insulting him from our 6th row seats, but he was out because he'd had a yellow card accumulation.
Wow.
And I remember saying to our friends, the J&J show behind us, hey, where's Haircut? And then of course we found out that. But at any rate, credit where it's due. He played the playoffs with a torn MCL or ACL. He was out there, and they're like, "You should not." And he's like, "No, I'm going to go." And because of that, he's now had surgery and will miss this entire season. Meaning, LA needs a striker, and they were willing to pay $2 million to get Klauss out there. So the team that couldn't score, that's City, has now given up their all-time leading scorer from last season, but they've got $2 million to spend, Keith.
Well, I believe Jao will not be missed in St. Louis. His playing time had diminished. He was resorted to being a 1/2, maybe a little bit more than a half type of player. He was demanding the ball, although he was in bad places demanding the ball. Yeah. And then his body language on the field was poor at best, constantly pouting, throwing his arms up in the air whenever the ball didn't go his way. He and Carnell last season had words on the field after they lost to Philadelphia. I mean, who does this? I mean, is he talented? Oh my God, he's ultra talented, but at the same time, you have to have your head on straight. And I don't think his head was there. I think he tried to do too much, and ultimately you have to find the back of the net. And he just failed to do that on a regular basis. And if you're the highest paid player on the team, you better find the back of the net. It got too cutesy. I'm done with him. Good luck, LA Galaxy.
My guess, though, is that he will have an elite season for the Galaxy.
He's capable.
He will.
He'll have a better focus out there.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say that much. I think he was too much. He'll be the more of a figure that's not the key figure in LA, and I think playing a lesser role will allow him to play a bigger role in the field.
Is $2 million, is that much for him?
Yeah.
It seems kind of low.
Right. Well, here's the deal. There's 1 year on his contract, so that's pretty good. That's kind of a lot of people were like, they're paying for a rental $2 million in the MLS for a guy in his he's in his, how old is he? I want to say
his 26, 27.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Looks like he's about 35 though.
He's not a spring chicken, so $2 million for a non-spring chicken on a 1 year deal. That's raised some eyebrows a little bit.
I know the Cardinals are paying $50 million to have players taken, so I guess it makes sense.
The number that I saw today was the Cardinals are paying $57 million for people not to play for them, but $67 million for people that are on the roster.
Yeah.
So
and they'll be better.
Welcome to baseball economics in 2026.
I was about to say, and baseball wonders why in 27 bad things are going to happen.
And but who would have thought, Joe Sperlin, that there would be economics in college football in 2026? But here we are, and the team that is your economic winner this year, as well as overall winner, who but the Hoosiers, as we said a couple of weeks ago. Quite a championship game there.
It really was. I mean, entertaining. I mean, I think that's what everybody enjoys, whether what fan you were. I think it was a good game. I made it late, and we had a basketball game, and I think I started at 9:30, and about 11 o'clock, Rhonda says, "Hey, I think I'm going to go to bed." And I said, "My God, there's 10 minutes left. You can't go to bed now." And she goes, "Yeah, you're right." But, Miami, if they play the entire game like the second half, we're all probably talking about to you. The missed field goal hurt them. The doink. Hey, I hope the NFL never fixes that. The hollow pipes and those things. There's nothing. As they said, there's nothing but worse sound possibly in sports. And then, here's going to be the old man in me again. I'll yell at the clouds, and you kids get off my porch. What happened to the day when you told the punt returner to put your feet at the 10 and don't go back and catch the ball? Now, I know that dude's make a difference player, but he catches it at the 5. And if that ball goes in the end zone, which to me it would have, I mean, I don't know if they'd have got a little Suck Betty on it and got it to kick back, but that's probably why that punt gets blocked. Even though they didn't really rush. I mean, yeah, hey, we're at the 5-yard line. Let's put a little pressure on him here. And it gets blocked. And then, Ron, you talked about what's a catch. I mean, I will give credit to the officials. I thought they called it well, but man, you talk about having hands on receivers every time.
Yep.
I don't know what to call or what not to call. I mean, and those guys are like, "Oh yeah, that's just a little bit of contact." Well, they're locked. They got both arms locked up. I don't know how they sit there and they brag about a receiver catching it with one hand, because the other hand they got to lock them off and keep them up. It's like a post player with the old crowbar.
Yeah, the other wrist is pinned at their ankle. So how can they catch the ball?
Hey,
Tom, that reminded me. I'm gonna break the rule twice, Tom. That reminded me of the New England Patriot Ram Super Bowl, the way they were accosting the receivers.
Yeah. They held every single receiver who left the line of scrimmage and never got called. So, I mean, why not do it? Until you get called for, why not do it?
Yeah.
My worry was they were going to call a ticky-tack pass interference at the end of the game that would let Miami won. And then that's when I would have been upset. If you're going to let it go the whole game.
Keith and I made that exact same comment in this very room while we were watching it with our group here. We're like, just please, for the love of God, do not call the game one way.
I don't care. Well, the answer to that, the answer to them roughing them up now is the short fade.
Yeah,
they underthrow the fade and the guy comes back. And Indiana made 2 great catches. I mean, that one guy caught it with like his forearm and his hand to the ball.
And wasn't one on 4th down?
Yeah, and had 2 great catches. I mean, that's how you defend all that mess. You don't throw the fade because they'll just molest you, but you just throw it short and they come back and catch it. So
they'll push into the Gatorade table, Joe.
Yeah. And Indiana probably once again has changed college football. Now it's go find some place to play if you're a freshman. Play, show people you can play, and then go. The days of sitting there and waiting to play, no one's going to do that anymore.
No.
Who you're going to recruit? You're going to recruit a freshman you don't know, or you're going to recruit that junior from Texas State that you've seen play. They talked about all the guys that Indiana had, and they were like, "Oh, this guy was a, all-conference performer at Texas State, Navy, Kent State, all these teams, and how many of them come from JMU that was players that they knew." And then the receiver from Indiana, number 80, I forgot his name, they told him he might as well leave. And he said, "No, I'm going to stay, and I like this." And he worked his way up and was a great player from him. But they told him he might as well leave. They didn't have a spot for him.
Right.
I have said this more than once, but this seriously seemed to me like if you got the old NCAA video game and decided, I'm going to win a national championship with Indiana. And it's like, but all I have are 3-star players. That's fine. I've got an offense. I'll run. I'll win.
Yep. Yeah.
And you had a quarterback who didn't make mistakes, who was usually you.
Right.
Ron, you made that quarterback that was really big and fast, and it was Ronald C. Cook from,
Yes.
Southwest Missouri.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
well, like you said, Joe, the days of Clemson and Alabama and Georgia having players on their roster 2 and 3 deep, 5 stars on at each position, those days are gone. And now it's going to be spread out. That's what we all hoped for when Alabama and Georgia and then Clemson were winning 10 in a row or whatever they won. I mean, this is what we wanted. This is what we got. But my fear now is these teams are going to go start buying the best players they can, and they're going to pay whatever they have to get right back up there.
Hey, I'm going to this school because they paid me more than anyone else.
Yeah.
You sit there and they have the hats lined out, and it's Georgia, Alabama, and Texas Tech. And the
Yeah.
kid puts on Texas Tech, and then when he stands up, he has this huge backpack that he just walks out with,
It's his wallet.
and that's
his wallet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Keith Farrell, the Big 10 or Big 18, has now won 3 consecutive national championships, which has not occurred in 73 years. So does it still
That
just
is
mean
amazing,
more?
Ron.
Does it still just mean more in the SEC?
Oh man. I think one of the quotes that I just read from Signetti, I think is going to be repeated loudly in a lot of athletic departments in the next couple of weeks. Signetti goes, to look back at what happened to Indiana previous to us coming 10, 20, 50 years ago was strictly a lack of commitment from the top.
Oh, my.
Whoa.
Oh, my.
So who's the coach that's going to go to the administration, who's going to go just bypass the athletic department and said, you're not committed
Right.
to our school. If Indiana can win, we can win. So who's that next team?
It was the perfect example of Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State when he said, I need you millionaires in Phoenix. I need money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good point. Next thing you know, you've got a linebacker sandwich at Subway, trying to get some.
Mark Cuban gave them more money this past week. And he said, that is straight to the athletic department. They can do with whatever they want with it. And that's on top of who knows whatever else he gave. So
and let's close out our college football, Tom, and I'll just bounce this off of you to bring it back to closer to home. How does Eli Drinkwitz feel when he's been there that many years and he's, where he is? They said there's kind of nervousness with how the portal went. How do you think someone like Drinkwitz feels after watching what Signetti's done in the last couple of years?
He's probably thinking, I got to find my sugar daddy. Some way, somehow,
I love
he's
it.
got to get somebody who's going to drop a ton of money in there on the portal. But what's their return of investment? These guys are just handing in the money, so they're really not making anything off of that money they're giving away. So it's ego. It's ego. Hey, I helped my team win the national championship.
About once a month, I know the episode title while the podcast is happening.
That's just crossed my mind too. Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
Tom, you're on a roll, and so are the Billikens. They are now nationally ranked 24th. They're 18-1, a 9-game winning streak. A little bit of excitement last night after having a big lead, and then almost having the other team come back and shoot for a tie.
Yeah.
But still not bad.
No, they're still looking pretty good. The thing is with the Bills is they're going to be everybody's championship game at this point. Everybody's going to be looking to play against them and get up for them. And, that's when you're one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the conference and, the other teams don't have a lot to play for. That's what's going to happen. And, they found a way to survive. Wasn't pretty, definitely wasn't pretty, but they survived. I think games like this are a good wake up call, for teams that, hey, we better be on the top of our game. We could lose to anybody any day.
Okay, not only are you not sneaking up on people, but you're getting noticed. Your coach is getting noticed a little bit. Like Josh Schertz is starting to be like, hey, he could be one of the hot coaches to step up to a bigger job.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the notes on this, and I'm like, that's a great point. He's very easily the next coach that's going to be considered for the next big ACC job, or hell, even an SEC opening. Why would he stay?
Yeah.
They're going to throw a suitcase of money at him.
You look up and see like Notre Dame 10-8, 1-4. Okay. Or you see just there some like kind of sleeping giant is going to kind of probably say, hey, that guy, if he can win at SLU and if he can win at Indiana State.
Yeah, one thing he won't have to say is Google me.
No. No.
Well,
No.
Dr. Shafitz, who just invested in the San Francisco Giants, he's going to have to give some money to Josh to keep him around. I do think that he likes St. Louis. He likes the smaller conference. So hopefully that and a little bit more money will keep him here for a while.
Yeah, the positive would be if he thinks that in the A10 he could just kind of build a situation where he could kind of run the conference for a while and almost have a good chance at making the field, the NCAA tournament every year. That might be something that would keep him here for at least a couple more years.
Yeah.
Back to the tournament, we have Illinois on, and I looked at the score, and it was Illinois like 28-26, Maryland, and then all of a sudden Illinois just exploded before the end of the first half. They're up 71-53 right now. Illinois is 6-1 in the Big Ten. They are clicking on all cylinders.
Dominant basketball. It's kind of nice to see out of the Illini. Of course, the Big Ten is it's a physical conference, and Illinois has answered that challenge, day in and day out. You don't go through the Big Ten at this time of the year, 6-1 by accident. So, yeah, it was, we graduated that one term, didn't we? We call them,
yes.
we call them the hair gel gentlemen now.
There we go.
So a little bit more politically correct.
Mhm.
Those gentlemen with lots of hair gel in their hair are just playing perfect basketball right now. So they're clicking. Hopefully the injury bug doesn't hit them, or the grade situation doesn't hit them, and everyone is back for the second half of the season.
Keep them out of Chevy Blazers, Joe.
Yeah.
They have Purdue Saturday, which if you're snowed in or in the process of being snowed in on Saturday, there's a really good slate of games Saturday. Mizzou, Oklahoma. You've got Purdue and Illinois. Missouri State has a game in the afternoon. The Blues are playing as well. So yeah, just as they say, check your local listings. And then there is what I'm calling Maddening Mizzou, Joe Sperlin. They're 13-6 now, 3-3 in the SEC. They straight up gave one away against the Georgia Bulldogs last night. And Joe, I know that one of your favorite metrics is point differential. Their point differential in SEC play is 0, which I guess if you're 3-3, that kind of makes sense.
I was getting ready to say you probably make sense if you're 500. So, hey, I always kind of like that because I think the idea is you can do all the stats you want, but it really comes down you score more points than the other guy.
Yep.
And if it's 0, you're not doing that very often. Probably 3-3. So there you go.
Yep.
Tom, they've been better
Free
since
throws.
they've got a couple. Oh my gosh,
Sorry.
throws are
Free
throws are
throws.
terrible. Tom, they got a little bit of an injection when a couple guys came back from injury, but they're just maddening. They are maddening.
So you get Jaden Stone back. He's probably their best 3-point shooter. And at your last shot of the game, give to Jacob Cruz. I just don't understand. I was listening to at that point, and it's like they had no idea what they were doing. Two things I'll take from last night's game is one possession. Georgia had 5 offensive rebounds in a row. So
Yes,
if I'm
I couldn't believe that.
yeah, if I'm Dennis Gates, I have 2 drills that they do every practice for a while: rebounding and free throws. That's all they do. One is shooting free throws, the other is rebounding. Just rebound the ball. You said in a text thread early in the season that they had 6 guys over 6'9",
Yeah.
and they can't rebound the basketball. It's so maddening. It's driving me crazy.
There we go. Hey, Joe, do you remember that thing that Don Salee had that he would actually put over the rim for rebounding practice,
Oh yeah.
where the ball couldn't go in? And
Yeah.
they should just get that out and practice blocking out for like 30 minutes.
They probably wouldn't have a football go in the basket anyway, so they can just keep shooting.
That's a good point. They wouldn't have to worry about making the shots.
No.
And finally, Joe, the National Football League over the weekend, 2 games into overtime again. Very good scripts. The script writers did well.
They did well. After it was over, the producers looked at each other and said, "That's good TV right there."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Buffalo Bills did not like the ending of their script.
They did not, as Keith alluded to earlier. And I will say that at both of our gatherings, there were people going, now, what are the overtime rules in the NFL again?
Yeah. Yeah. The script of the Buffalo Bills ended up like a Hallmark movie. There was a lot of crying at the end.
That's ironic because they got one this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Keith said that about the firing. I think it's just, and I think the owner kind of talked about their press conference. It was just time for a change. It's like, damn it, we're tired of doing this. Somebody's heads have got to roll.
We're tired of winning playoff games each year.
Yeah. Yeah. We pay Josh Allen a lot more than we pay you. So you got to go.
Yeah, and speaking of winning playoff games, Eric Bieniemy returns to Kansas City, and he is, as we were talking about earlier, he's not going to let players wear their baseball caps backwards. So he means business.
Oh God!
Unless it's Patrick Mahomes.
It's a good point.
It's amazing for a guy. Last time he was with the Chiefs, he was the next head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He was the next head coach. He interviewed for all those jobs, and then he was going to be an OC every year somewhere else, and he's back with Andy Reid. As I told you guys, I think it's just a way of Andy says, yeah, you get to hold the play sheet in front of your face and all that stuff and pretend like you're calling plays, but a lot of times I'll call the plays.
I'll be doing that. Yeah. Well, it almost reminds me of, you think of some of those coaches that were going to go do great things, like Charlie Weiss and Romeo Crennel and, some of the, it seems like, especially in the NFL, you don't automatically go from being a good assistant coach to a legendary head coach.
No, I mean, if you look at, right in our backyard, you had, when you alluded to it earlier with Vermeil leaving and Mike Martz, and Mike Martz had every opportunity to bring home a couple Super Bowls, and he couldn't pull it off. And then he got nicknamed Mad Mike because of his antics and stuff like that. But, Josh McDaniel, kind of the same thing. He was supposed to be the holy grail of assistant coaches, came in and failed miserably and found himself as an assistant for the rest of his career.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it takes a special person. And, when you see the likes of Tomlin and McDermott and these winning coaches leave these programs, it's, these organizations have a tough time finding the right guy to lead the organization. Like, who the heck is Pittsburgh going to find to replace Tomlin?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's still, I believe, as I saw this morning, 7 openings. Is that right, Joe? 6 or 7?
I think so.
Out there. So, yeah, coaching free agency rages on.
What is it? The Giants, the Falcons, and the Titans, right? They've hired.
Yeah, and the Raiders have had a second interview with someone. So good luck to whoever goes to the Raiders. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we have reached the midpoint of the show here, and it's time to hear from the good folks at First Coast Steel Buildings. And when we come back, it's one of our next to last visit to Blue Horseshoe's Corner, and then we will take a look at our fearless prognostications from last August, as when we foretold what would happen in college football in the 2025 season. And we'll talk a little Blues on the St. Louis Sportus Podcast continues coming up.
Are you in the market for a barn dominium, house, garage, man cave, carport, or hobby shop? Wondering how to get started or where to go? Whatever you are looking to design, look no further than First Coast Steel Buildings. Give Jason and his team a call at 912-314-4848. They will guide you through the process, designing your building to fit your specific needs and budget. Call them today at 912-314-4848 or get inspirational ideas and start designing your own by visiting them at firstcoaststeel.com. Again, that's the number 1, coaststeel.com. Their low-cost buildings are fully galvanized steel, providing you with worry-free, low-maintenance requirements, integrity, quality, and a family-first approach. First Coast Steel Buildings, 912-314-4848 or firstcoaststeel.com. Discounts for military and first responders.
And we are back on the St. Louis Sportus Podcast, along with Joe Sperlin, Tom Mathis, and Keith Farrell. My name is Ron Cook, and it is time for Blue Horseshoes Corner. Someone said, why do you call it Blue Horseshoes Corner? Have you ever seen the movie Wall Street? Blue Horseshoe loves Anacott steel. And that's why we call it Blue Horseshoes Corner, because Joe Sperlin used to send us his bets and say, hey, Blue Horseshoe loves the Illinois Fighting Illini or whoever it happened to be. And so we're down to 2 games, sir, and we do need to remind you that these picks are for recreational purposes only, entertainment purposes only, and should not be the basis of any actual wager. If you believe you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The odds are from BetESPN this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. Blue Horseshoe.
You know, Blue Horseshoe does not love the NFL. We do not have a copy of the script. We do not know what's going on, and our picks have shown that. But it's going to the Super Bowl. By the way, I noticed this. The Super Bowl will be on NBC, correct?
Correct.
Sunday, February 8th. The Olympics start Friday, February 6th. So are they going to squeeze in some Olympic events at halftime? Will that be the entertainment for those of us that don't understand Spanish?
That's possible. I have heard them say that by having they've also got, I believe, the NBA All-Star Game. So they've got the NBA All-Star Game, the Super Bowl, and the Olympics all in the same month.
How much advertising are we going to see for the Olympics during the Super Bowl?
Oh, dear Lord.
Whoa. And there you folks, you have your first Super Bowl prop bet. So anyway.
Yep.
All right. Before that, we have to have the go down the action. CBS, Tony Romo, 2 p.m. Sunday. New England at Denver, no Bo Nix. By the way, when I saw that on social media, I said fake news AI. I really did. I was like, that's not true. New England minus 4.5. And Stenham. I even forgot Stenham's first name.
Jared.
Yeah, I started to say Josh. I think that's another Stenham I know. Anyway, Ron, what do you think?
New England large.
Oh, large.
Large.
Now, folks, that is for entertainment, not a large bet, because this is just for fun.
Correct.
Keith, what do you think?
I think New England's going to easily cover that 5.5.
All right.
They might win by a touchdown each quarter.
I'm going to say the NFL loves it. Sean Payton will find a way. New England will have to kick a field goal. They'll win, but do not cover. Give me the Denver Broncos at home. It'll be, as I like to refer to that, as a sweater for anyone that makes a small donation to that.
It'll either be a sweater or it will be like that giant Viking game that was like 49-0. Remember that one?
Yes.
Like about 20 years
Yes.
ago. Yeah. Mhm.
Speaking of hopefully a game 49-0, Ron, Seattle plays a team, and they are -2.5. This is 5:30 on the Fox network with Tom Brady. The Rams and the thicker kicker. Seattle -2.5. Ron, would you like to make another prediction like you did last week?
In the marketing major at Missouri State University, they make us take 9 hours of statistics. And I'm going through storage, and I have some of my statistics textbooks. And so, Keith, I ran a few regression analysis today. And after I ran my regression analysis, I did a two-tail test, and all of the trends pointed in the same way, which is Seattle by 100 points.
Oh,
which would be a record. Ron, I'm going to tell you, I
Potentially
am
a record.
impressed with those stat words you were using in there. That's very good.
Thank you.
can you explain those to
Keith?
me? I'm totally lost on that. I am going to go with the Seahawks. I think it's going to be a relatively easy win. I mean, they're on a roll, and I hate to give them too many props because but at the same time, they might be the best team. But you know something, the Rams beat them in week 11, 21-19. So anything can happen.
Anything can happen. I'm saying Seattle at home. I think if this game was at SoFi, I would go with the Rams, but go Hawks.
The Rams beat them. The Rams. Let's hold on. What happened here? So this is Seattle's schedule. So Seattle beat them 38-37 in week 16, and they lost to them. They lost to them in week 11. Yeah. So they played neck and neck, with a point differential of 3. Like 1 point, one game was 2 points, the other game was 1 point. So this is all the Vegas is loving this one.
Well, I have a regression analysis, so it doesn't matter.
There it is. Ron,
doesn't
I
matter.
thought you were going to throw out your Iowa Basic Skills Test math score from second grade you had today.
Which
edit that. You do not have to say anything. Just edit that out. I just had to bring that up.
Let's just say my second grade Iowa Basic Skills math test math score was average.
We'll edit that out, please. Hey,
Thank you. Yes.
One more
Let's move on
game.
to one more game. Thank you, Blue
Yeah.
Horseshoe. Let's move to our predictions.
Oh
We
my.
had a few questions that we took a look at, and we were, let's just dive right in. The first question was, which of the two quarterbacks between Bo Perbula or Sam Horn would see more playing time for Mizzou? Joe Sperlin?
Yeah, Bo. I mean, of course, if we knew now, that was an easy call, but
Keith Farrell?
neither one of them will be playing for Mizzou next year. So,
Tom, you said?
Bo.
Well, I said Sam Horn, and for the record, Sam played exactly one play.
Yeah.
Well, if we were on one of the betting apps, they'd give you a free pass.
yeah.
I suppose they would. One play for Sam Horn. So all three of you got that right. Congratulations. I am wrong. Most pass attempts by the Mizzou Tigers in a game. The correct answer, I'll just tell you, is 40 against the Auburn Tigers. And if you had Matt Zollers making those 40 attempts, wow, you really should have gone to Vegas. Joe Sperlin, your number was?
35.
Uh-huh.
That's
Mr.
close.
Farrell.
50.
50. Tom Mathis.
33.
You thought the run game was going to carry the day. I said 42. So I gave it to Keith and I because we were both over the 40 against Auburn. So Mizzou wins for the season. Now, this is where it gets tricky because on wins for the season, I didn't know if we were talking regular season or if we were counting the bowl which it didn't matter since they didn't win a bowl. Joe, you said
7.
7, and you declined to give a bowl. Mr. Farrell?
Mr. 7.
And you said trip to Memphis.
Yeah.
I said 7, and Shreveport, I believe I referenced the Poulan Weed Eater Bowl,
Yes.
which it was years ago. And Tom Mathis, you said
I said 8 and a mid-tier bowl.
you should have gone to Vegas.
I
Yes.
should have.
Nicely done, Tom Mathis. Now, Illinois is where it's trickier because they did have 8 regular season wins, but then they did win their bowl. So we accepted both 8 and 9. And just for the record, Spur, for Illinois, you said 8.
I said 8.
Keith?
I said 10 in the playoffs, but had I watched that Indiana game, I would have changed my pick. Boy, Indiana just mopped them up.
Mm-hmm. I said 8 wins in the Music City Bowl. I also said that they would get tripped up. I said that there would be a game late in the season, and it would be like, "Hey guys, turn on Illinois and Wisconsin."
Yeah.
Yep. You did good.
Yeah, that was my one moment of glory. And Tom, you said,
I said 9.
which we give you with the bowl win. So everyone
take
but Keith. Everyone but Keith. Most wins for Mizzou, Kansas, and Illinois. Every single one of us said Illinois. The only noteworthy thing was I did predict 9 wins for Kansas. I'm blaming our good friend Dr. Kim, who got me high on hopium with with Kansas. She was
It's convincing.
yeah, Dr. Kim Simons was getting me all fired up about Kansas, but no, nothing. First coach fired, Joe Sperlin.
Yeah, Sam. Which he did,
What?
but he
was
wasn't
fired.
the first.
Correct. Keith.
Mike Norvell out of FSU had a losing record, but still has a job.
Still
Keith,
drawing a paycheck.
I would like to say the only thing that probably kept him from getting fired was Florida State saying we can't afford to pay him and the new coach.
That is true.
Seriously, I mean that's they said we can't afford $100 million to pay him and the new coach. So he's got
They
one
gave
more
him
year.
a pirate ship worth of loot
Yes.
right there.
That's true. I said Trent Dilfer, who was not the first but was fired, and then Tom Mathis.
Which, with much ridicule, I said Brian Kelly. And I was almost right. I was very close.
Unfortunately for all of us, it was Brett Pry at Virginia Tech, who none of us saw coming. But hey, all of us except for Keith got a coach that had a difficult conversation with their athletic director. Top 10 team to be unranked, Joe Sperlin.
As I always like to say, past years have shown the easy call was Miami, which that looked really bad. Almost as bad as I said the Georgia Bulldogs. But
Mr.
past
Farrell
records
and
have shown Miami would have been the easy call. So
yeah. Mr. Farrell, you and I made the same choice.
Well, we chose Notre Dame, and had they lost another game after their opening 2, they would not have been there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tom, you went Big 18 as well.
Yes. Yeah. It was, I didn't have much faith in Dante Moore. He turned out to be a little bit better than I thought he might be.
And in our column on the screen, it just says no correct answers. So this year's surprise team, we prefaced by saying Indiana was last year's surprise team, assuming that they were a one-trick pony. Paul Simon song from the early 80s, by the way.
Yeah.
Joe, you kind of gave us a variety pack there.
I give you a 3-team parlay, and I'm still going to say Texas A&M, Georgia Tech, and Florida State was a surprising team. How you can just take Alabama to the woodshed and then just flat out look horrible from there on out. The NC State game may have been one of the worst. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
That was, I think that's a wise choice. Mr. Farrell, you said
Nebraska with a 7-6 overall record, 4-5 in the Big Ten. Not my greatest moment.
No. I said Baylor. They were bad. Tom, you.
Yeah. Iowa wasn't horrible, but they weren't all that great. So
We gave that to Joe's combo pack.
Yeah.
That's what we
Tom,
called it, the
I've got
combo
to
pack.
say, I had a guy who's an Iowa fan when it was the Big Ten won 3 in a row. Who's going to be the next one? And he said, Iowa's next. And I said, whoa, let's slow down right there. So anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, no matter what, they wave to the kids, and that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes.
So, 3.5 SEC teams in the playoffs, over or under, Joe Sperlin? You said.
I said under 3. But I
Mr.
was
Farrell?
expecting
Right.
Georgia to be a dog, literally.
Under 3.
Tom, you and I were optimistic.
Yep. We had 4.
We said the over. There were 4, which was Georgia, Bama, A&M, and Ole Miss, or if you were listening last week, Mississippi.
Yeah. I don't think we would have thought the Rebels would have been in there.
No, I don't think we would have had the Rebels in there. I also wouldn't have had Lane Kiffin as the coach here on the 21st of January of the fighting LSU Tigers. 3.5 Big 18 teams in the playoff. Mr. Sperlin said.
I said under because after they cheated the Big 12, which they did in BYU, but I had under, not happen.
You had under because you said the Big 12 would get 2 teams. Now, Tom and I weren't that specific, but we both took the under. Keith, you, based on your Illinois.
Illinois was a big time, had their senior quarterback coming back. I thought he would fare better.
Yeah, well, not so much.
Another bad moment.
Speaking of not faring better, is Arch Manning a Heisman finalist? Joe, you were talking about hopium.
I'm just a year early. April, I know you're listening. Listen to me. Don't buy a new pair of shoes. Take that $1,000 you normally buy for shoes and put it on Arch Manning to win the Heisman at plus 85. That'd be $8,500, and you buy the nicest pair of shoes you need for a long time.
That's eight pair of shoes, April.
I'm telling you now, Arch is the man next year. Texas already preseason, 2 early top 25, 2nd and 3rd in 2 polls I've seen.
Well.
I'm writing it down right now.
Keith Farrell, you also thought?
I said he'd be a candidate, and Nussmeier was going to be our Heisman Trophy winner, and couldn't have been more wrong.
I said, like a video game, when you go up to a higher setting, that some of the some of the passes you completed would be interceptions, which they were early on. But then, just like a video game, you figure it out after a little bit, which is what he did. So, but I also went with Nussmeier. Tom, you said he would go to New York, but then for the Heisman, you said.
I don't remember what I said there, Ron, and we can we can just go right past that.
Folks, when he says that, it's on a screen in front of him.
Kate,
either he can't read or he's in some major denial.
Yeah,
he wants to roll back the tape.
I will, as we head forward in this predictions, I will say this is my second worst pick of the night.
Well, it foreshadows your worst pick, so
it does.
It's good that it threads together. SEC champion, Joe Sperlin. Wow.
Damn you, Texas Longhorns. I said Texas A&M.
Which turned out to be an almost. Keith?
The cluster that LSU turned into.
I'm so sorry. Tom, you and I were on the right track there.
Yep, we both had the Bulldogs of Georgia.
We had the Dogs, Big 12 champions. There were 2 of you that said
Texas Tech.
But I also
the
said
Red
Baylor.
Raiders.
I said Baylor and Texas Tech would be in it. So yeah, I'm shot down because of Baylor.
And Keith also said Texas Tech, so we gave that to you. I said Arizona State because I'm not bright every once in a while. Tom Mathis, that was a pretty interesting call there.
Yeah, I had a lot of hope for Iowa State, and they kind of, they're now at Penn State, so I guess it's good good team. They just didn't play well in Iowa.
We all got slaughtered on the next one, which is of the preseason top four: Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, and Penn State. How many of those would be in the Final Four? There's no need to really go through that. None of them were, but we were all very excited.
If someone said, hey, let's put a little money on it, I think a guy would have said, yeah, one of them will be in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope. And
Nope,
that's
not
why,
close.
And that's why, kids, one of the many reasons why you do not put money on this actual stuff.
That's why the casinos are so nice, too.
Yeah, those are nice. You don't hear about them closing down.
You really don't. North Carolina win total over under 7. 3 of us took the under. Only one of us was optimistic and took Jordan in the over. If you can't tell the groan, that was Keith who took the over.
Good people at bad
And
moments.
by the way, someone mentioned his name for the Buffalo job.
Oh,
I think it was one of his friends on ESPN said that, and I did the same thing, Ron. I went, oh, hey, okay.
And speaking of people having bad moments, that was me on the next one, where it was Colorado over under 5.5. I took the over. Everyone else smartly took the under.
Yeah.
Nicely done, everyone else. So for our final picks, we had to give measurable picks. Joe Sperlin said Florida State goes 8-4.
5-7.
Mhm.
Unbelievable.
There is one of these predictions that is marked in green, Keith Farrell.
Yeah, I was forecasting the Irish to lose their first 2 games, and lo and behold, they caused a big stir at the end of the season by winning the next 10.
And they lost to
very good.
Miami and Texas A&M.
Yeah, 2
Mhm.
powerhouses.
Tom, your screen's probably blurring right now.
It is. I can't read it all. All it looks to me is it says the NFL predictions, Baltimore Ravens by some of these guys. So,
Uh-huh.
Oh, that'll be here in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, that was not a good choice.
Folks, Tom predicted Clemson to win the national championship.
Who's your quarterback, by the way?
I think that was Mr. Clemson.
Oh,
Yeah.
does that ring a bell there, Tom?
It was foreshadowing.
Yes, somewhat, not very much.
And my incorrect pick was the Longhorns to lose 4 games. They lost 3. So there you have it. Into every life, a little rain must fall, and those were our picks. For the St. Louis Blues, Tom Mathis, a lot of rain or snow or frozen precipitation or stupidity is falling right now. They're 19-23. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They are 8 points out of the wild card, giving them money puck odds right now of making the playoffs of 2.8%. Where do they go from here?
Well, they can't go much farther down. They just keep dropping and dropping. And as I was watching Jordan Kyrou get knocked on his ass the other day, I thought to myself, this team just doesn't pass very well. I can remember watching some of these teams, and the passes were tape to tape and right on the money. This team doesn't do this. Their puck possession is just horrible. And I mean, their time in the opponent's zone is just like non-existent sometimes. You just like, I think the 4 of us, we'll throw Doug out there, or the 5 of us could do better than the Blues sometimes. So they're as maddening as the Mizzou Tigers.
I tend to throw a few dollars here and there on the Blues, and one of the bets that I won last week was when Tampa Bay was down early 2-0 against the Blues. I'm like, I'm going to take an in-game pick here, and I'm going to bet that Tampa's going to come back. And of course they did, and the Blues won, and good for them. They beat a great team. But then they go out and lay an egg, and of course I threw a few bucks on that game in Winnipeg, and I bet players, Justin Falk, your leading scorer, I just asked him to get a couple shots on the net. He didn't show up for the game. And, my stepson goes, Keith, who'd you bet on? I go, Buchnevich for 3 shots, and he got it. But he gets them in spurts. He doesn't show up the whole game. And that's what this team misses. Like they show these 2 or 3 minute spurts where it's like, holy smokes, man, this team has it. They just can't find it on they don't have it in their guts.
Go back to Jimmy Snoogerud on that Friday night game. He looked like he could be one of the best players in the National Hockey League against the Lightning. It was like every time he touched the puck, it almost reminded me of Kaprizov in that playoff series against the Blues a few years ago, where every time he touched the puck, you like held your breath because it's like, holy cow, he might score.
Yeah.
And that's what Snoogerud looked like on Friday night. And then, you were wanting to see, is this the start of something or is this a one-off? And
and that's what it is. And then the Blues make a kind of an odd move with sending Steve Ott to Springfield to go to coach that team. They let go at Steve Konalchuk, whatever his name is down there. And so I heard that, if Steve Ott wants to get a head coaching job, he's going to need head coaching experience. Okay. I buy into that. I hope that's the case. But boy, he is so respected on that bench. I wonder how that's going to change or disrupt even more chemistry that is going good for this team. Yeah. So, and then you hear Jim Montgomery's going to take over the power play. All right, Jimbo. Just add more to your plate.
Since we went over our, NCAA football predictions, I think that what's going to be even more harsh is when the three of us go over our Blues predictions, because we were a little optimistic when we did those.
Yeah, I was very optimistic, and I'm so wrong. I thought this team had a lot of hope, and they really fooled me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So, with that, we have reached the last call, brought to you by Black Dog Consulting. Black Dog Consulting LLC is here to help the one truck owner and the small fleet owner to grow and prosper. Dave has 37 years and 4 million plus miles experience with flatbed, step deck, over-dimensional dry vans, and refrigerated units. He grew the last fleet he managed from 1 truck to 5 with yearly gross revenue of $3.7 million. If this is the growth you are looking for, contact Dave at 417-217-9622 or oldblackdog0523@gmail.com. Black Dog Consulting, helping you retrieve bigger profits. Joe, what do you have?
One of the things, it was cold in Chicago last weekend. It's going to be cold in Missouri this weekend. And there was a report that there was a certain team playing at Chicago that put cayenne pepper in their socks.
I saw this.
Okay. There is actually, science has backed this up. There is a compound in cayenne pepper that increases blood flow and widens blood vessels and will keep your toes warm if you put it on your socks. About half a teaspoon. Now, you must be very careful, word of caution. Make sure the socks are the very last item you put on. Because if you're not careful, instead of a warm sensation, you will have a severe burning sensation. If you put too much cayenne pepper in your socks, or if it gets on any other body parts.
Yes.
If you know what I mean.
I just have to also say, and this is because Willie McGee and Pierre Leclerc, the foxhound and the Yorkie, have been down here as we've been recording. If you're a pet owner, you might want to take off your socks before you start walking around your house, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a thought.
So there you have it. Be careful.
Wow.
With the cayenne pepper in the socks.
I had absolutely no idea. Tom.
Yeah.
So MLB announced their Hall of Fame elections yesterday. The candidates who got voted in.
Yeah. Andrew.
And Carlos.
And Carlos Beltran. And I'm okay with Andrew Jones getting in. My problem is that him and Jim Edmonds, to me, they were pretty pretty similar players in that same time. And not that I think that Jim Edmonds should be in the Hall of Fame, but he didn't last one vote. He got less than 10% in the first vote and got removed from the ballot. It took Andrew Jones 9 votes to get in. At WAR, Andrew Jones has a little bit of a lead, but other than that, he has a few more home runs and RBIs, but Edmonds has more hits, a better batting average, better OPP, and a better slugging and a better OPS. And for them, and I mean, he was kind of a hot dog at times, so maybe that's what killed him. But I mean, he was a very good outfielder, and for him to get knocked out after 1 year, I think is unforgivable to the baseball writers.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I guess it has to be the Veterans Committee if he's going to make it, right?
Right, it does, and then the way they go about how they make their selections now, who know when that could be.
Yeah, and we're starting to run into a group like Buster Posey's next year. So you're going to start to get into some surefire people here.
And you're going to have Albert and Yachty coming up in a couple of years. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Dale Murphy's not in the Hall of Fame. Damn it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I keep going back to what Jeff Gordon said a few years. It's almost like so many of the best players aren't in. You almost need to start over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keith?
Well, the winter warm-up, I alluded to that a little bit earlier. Kind of one of the takeaways is, are we going to have a manager next year for the St. Louis Cardinals? A lot of questions about whether or not Ali Marmol is going to be offered a contract extension. He does not have one as of yet. Now, apparently there are some discussions, but I like the guy. I mean, you talk about being dealt a crap sandwich year in and year out. I believe he has a winning record while he's been here.
Mm-hmm.
He's been going through this with Adam Wainwright's quest for 200, having the worst, and worst record in baseball 1 year. You got Miles Michaelis, who the organization signed to a ridiculous contract, who we were forced to watch for the last 3 years of a pathetic career in St. Louis.
Anyone signed him yet?
I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
I would rather, maybe the Providence, Rhode Island batting practice coach or something like that. But listen, there's just what's going to happen with this guy. I mean, what's the direction of this team? Not sure, but for a team that was looking for stability, it's anything but stable right now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you don't have a skipper.
Yeah. Yeah, that's certainly going to be something to watch. Now, I have heard Bloom, speak kind of glowingly about the job he's done and things like that, but that's not an extension.
That's not an extension.
Nope. For mine, I'm going back to something. This will be the third time I've brought this up, but and probably the last. I shouldn't say that. There might be one more update.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the ice hockey arena at the Winter Olympics. Well, they say that in a strict sense, it will be ready. However, so basically there is a sheet of ice and there are seats. The chief ice maker said, "I don't know that things will be completely finished cosmetically." I'm not quite sure what that means.
I just hope someone doesn't drown.
That's actually in play. A high-ranking NHL executive told our St. Louis Blues reporter Andy Strickland, "The rink will not be done, but we will be there, and the tournament will be played." Okay. There's plastic sheeting sectioning off unfinished areas, including dressing rooms and concession facilities. They are going to have food trucks outside the arena because the concession stands aren't finished. This made a little bit of international news. They tried a game on January 9th, and a hole formed in the ice, which caused a delay.
Let's hope no one drowns.
And Joe, since I know you don't watch as much hockey as we do, that's not normal to have a hole form in the ice.
I'm about to say a hole in the ice. Thank God, Keith, I'm with you. Thank God they're not playing on an actual pond.
That's not normal. I did put a picture in our chat of the dressing rooms, which literally looked like aluminum benches with some hooks on the walls.
Oh, God.
And the center scoreboard is so small, it looks like an inflatable structure actually hanging from the roof. And in that game where they had the hole in the ice, one of the players said the scoreboard was so small he couldn't find the clock to see how much time was actually remaining in the period. So
Italy, you just hosted your final Olympics.
this is Joe, I know that you and I, when I first brought it up, we said that we always hear these stories about how, oh, they're running late, but then miraculously they get it done and, everything's fine. I think this is the closest that I've heard to it actually not being fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not into ice science or anything like that, but if they can have ice in Florida for an outdoor game,
Yeah.
how can you not
I
have
love
ice
that.
in an indoor facility?
I'm not an ice science guy.
I
just wish they would give them some lead time so they could have got all this stuff done. I mean, they probably have only known 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, it's like the Olympics are they're next month. Okay. But and folks, if you have a second, just Google scoreboard at Olympic hockey venue, and it literally does look like something that you would inflate and put in the backyard for the kids' party. It's just ridiculously small.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the end of this St. Louis Sports Podcast. Snow's coming, folks. We hope you have everything you need from the store, and wishing you a warm, safe weekend. Joe Sperlin, thank you, sir.
Yes, guys, always great to visit with you guys.
Tom Mathis.
Great visiting with you guys. Stay safe this weekend. Watch some PGA golf and some college basketball.
There you go, Mr. Farrell.
Yeah, go. Be safe, everyone, this weekend.
Absolutely. And we will catch up with you next week on the St. Louis Sports Podcast. And until then, take care.
And that wraps another episode of the St. Louis Sportis Podcast. Please like and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest episodes. You can find these guys on all major podcast platforms. And thanks for listening.